The head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
Welcome once again to another episode of The Head, the Tail, the Whole Damn Thing with industry professionals Mike D. McCarthy and James Knight. Today's international episode features the Spanish Record and the French Infested. I wonder if you should watch that with the subtitles and dubbing, because people watch, the television shows with the words now because they're too lazy to listen, and the mix is always off. The music and sound effects are so loud now, it's just almost ludicrous and ridiculous. What are your thoughts on it, boys? Take it away.
La gente debería ver una película en su idioma original. Let it be known that I am indeed a gringo. I will do my best to not slaughter anything this evening.
What do you mean by that? We are continental today, as they might say.
Extreme.
If we were in England, I would say, we're going to the continent this time.
Indeed, sir. We are expanding ourselves this evening to two different countries, in fact.
Indeed. Offerings from both the Spanish and the French.
Yes. Which are not so far away from each other.
Expanding our cinematic palettes, if you will.
Yes,
if you please.
Indeed.
If you
thank
can.
you to the patrons at Discord for making us review these two films.
Ah, yes, it was their fault again. Sons of
Yes.
bitches.
Sons of bitches. We need to stop listening to them. I'm kidding, old boy. They come up with the best ideas, don't they?
Well, it was actually kind of a coincidence, really, or was unintended that these both ended up being foreign films, because we paired them up for a different reason.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. These are both Escape from the Apartment movies.
Yes, essentially. And that's why they are our double feature today. It's not because Inglés is not the preferred language here.
Yeah, exactly. Did you watch either of these dubbed by chance?
No way.
Me either.
I can't do it. It's interesting because Netflix has so many more international shows now that opened up, at least for a short time until AI takes those jobs, a whole new avenue for actors and voice actors, because they had a lot more shows that they needed English dubbing for and people that could lip match and all that kind of stuff. So even though I think that is awesome, because more work for more people is always a good thing, I can't watch a dubbed movie.
It's terrible.
Oh, it gets on me. And some people are the opposite. Some people can't do subtitles and don't like to do subtitles. And
I mean, I understand. It was hard to take notes on either of these films because you're looking down to write down a note and you're just missing entire lines of dialogue.
That is true.
Yeah. So I was trying not to take notes and just taking mental notes, and I don't think that worked.
Well, we will see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the same issue, especially I had seen Record a few times before, or Rec, as we're calling it. It's Rec, I guess. I had always called it Record, but
I mean,
really,
that's what it means.
REC period.
Yeah.
So I knew what was going on in that one, but yeah, the second time I watched Infested, when I wasn't constantly looking down at my notebook, I was like, oh, is that what happened there? I totally missed that part early.
Oh, all right.
But we've got a couple of doozies today, starting with, what year did Rec?
2007.
2007.
REC, 2007.
Rec. And then 2023's Infested? It had actually been out a little bit longer than I had thought.
Yeah, but I believe it was released in France then, en français.
Ah, oui, oui.
And only recently came here to Shudder, I believe.
Made its way across the pond. Well, we will get into that part a little bit later.
Yeah, but first, I would like to...
Wreck things?
Wreck things, literally.
Including the Spanish language?
Much to the chagrin of our Spanish-speaking listeners out there. Please don't send hate mail. I understand I am not bilingual, and you should as well. But this morning I thought, hey, you know what would be cool? If I just wrote up a little thing on rec and then translated it into Spanish, en español, and then read it en español. So, without further ado.
Oh, fantastico.
Sí. Rec, 2007. Es una película en español de terror de Mejía encarnado por Jaime Vallejo y Paco Plaza. La película se hace a la reportera de televisión Ángela Vidal y su equipo mentirosos documentan en torno de noche en estación de bomberos local. Responden en una llamada de emergencia en el edificio en apartamentos donde se encuentran con brote misterioso y violento. Atrapacentro pronto descubren que el edificio está equivalente y que sus habitantes están abiertos y criaturas similares a zombies.
¿Zombies?
Sí. Muchas de las escenas se rodan en una sola toma en un edificio de departamentos estrecho, lo que dificulta el equipo maniobro y captura toma mientras se movían. Los actores tuvieron improvisaron. I'm just making words up now.
Improvisación.
A la situación de media que desrola. Este enfoque contrario y sensación del realismo. The sensation of realism. Yeah. Esto también implica que la iluminación debe minimalista y naturalística.
Naturalística. Sí, comprendo.
Yeah, amigo. Sí. Y como a menudo resultan escrantas, escoras y locopus los efectos especiales de película. The makeup effects.
Sure, película.
Incluyendo las criaturas similares a zombies, ¿sí?
Sí, zombies, apartamento.
El presunto limitado con mínimas imágenes llenadas por computadora. That's CGI, very limited CGI. A pesar de estados deficios, REC fue éxito y crítica público. It's a critical public success. De esta trance convertido en un clásico de culto, su estilo de matrar contrario es atmósfera, it's atmospheric and intense, intensa y realista.
Clásico de culta. Sí.
Atmósfera intensa y realista han influido en muchas películas de terror posteriores. ¡Gol!
Sí, muy bueno, amigo. I mean, you tried, but let me get this straight. Apartamento.
Se uno fiesta en mis pantalones.
And never once did we find out where the biblioteca was during all of that.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
I appreciate your restraint. I got apartamento, zombies, película de terror, which horror movie, cult classic, good special effects, limited CGI, responding to an emergency. I heard in that. Realism and naturalism and improvisación.
Improvisación.
Sí.
No scripto.
No scripto.
I just made that one. That's not a word.
No. Let me tell you, this movie is quite good. I think you're correct about the realism and not having the script, because I think they kept the actors in the dark until the day that they had to perform the scenes.
Indeed.
So they were not sure in which direction they would be going. And it does. Everything seems a little chaotic and frantic, and I think the actors do an awesome job in this. It's a bunch of, from what I understood, like, I don't want to call them no names, but unrecognizable faces in this.
Sure.
Manuela Velasco.
Who played Ángela Vidal. reporter de televisión.
Yes, the television reporter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she actually did have her own late night news TV program.
Oh, okay.
So, like, before they cast her in this, she had already experienced being a journalist doing essentially this job, or a job that was like this. Mm-hmm. And I think it translates very well. She's incredibly believable as this reporter.
Indeed.
I'll just come out and say it. I love this movie. I absolutely love this movie.
I should have figured out how to say in Spanish, James, what did you think?
Jaime? Gosh, I can't. I took 3 years of Spanish. I lived in a Spanish-speaking neighborhood. I've been to Spain. I should know how to say that.
Yeah.
But
I've been to Spain, too. I'm not trying to be cool. But, nope, I got nothing here.
No, I do love this. And the thing is, I, by general rule, hate found footage movies. I'm not a fan of those at all.
Me too. I've always hated them.
I will say, when Blair Witch came out, I enjoyed being swept up in the sensation that movie had when it first came out.
Yeah. We mentioned that before on
that was fun.
Show, yeah, absolutely.
But for the most part, like the paranormal activity type movies and stuff like that, they're just not my bag.
No.
And this one is one of the rare horror movies that I know that I beat you to the punch. Like, I actually saw this one before you did. Because I remember calling you the night after I saw it. Somebody had it on like a DVD, and we watched it in like a classroom on a projector. And I watched it with about 5 or 6 other people, including a few girls who were big horror fans and were just screaming at everything.
Nice. Had no one seen it?
No one had seen it, and the guy who put it in said, well, he had seen it, and he said, I'm not going to tell you anything about this movie.
Good.
And so we hadn't seen it. I hadn't heard of it. We didn't even know it was in Spanish until it started. And it starts with the news reporter and our cameraman are doing while you're
at the
asleep.
fire station.
Yeah. It's like a documentary news program about what happens while people are sleeping, the late night jobs that people have.
Yeah. And it has such a fun, realistic feel to it.
Oh, it does.
You never, at least I never at one point, don't think this doesn't feel real, because it does. Until, of course, you get...
Oh, yeah.
Creatores similores zombies.
Zombies. CCC. But to my earlier point, watching a movie like this with a bunch of people who enjoy the thrill of being scared and want to scream and want to jump and are having a good time makes that experience for me so much more fun.
Yeah.
And not only because this movie, I think, is, in my opinion, the best found footage horror movie out there, but the experience I had watching it with them will always endear this particular film to me.
This movie became an instant classico.
CCC. Not just culto classico, as you had said. I feel like this is, maybe it's not as big a deal as a lot of movies. It inspired a shitty American remake. That was unnecessary.
Starring Dexter's partner, or Dexter's sister.
Oh, yeah. That was her, wasn't it?
Yeah. But it's like a shot-for-shot ripoff, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that one. And I just felt that was unnecessary. Yeah. As they are most of the time when you remake there's exceptions to that, I think. But Wreck...
The Hitcher. I'm kidding.
I would say... Perhaps people would argue with me, but I enjoy both Let the Right One In and Let Me In. I liked both of those.
Interesting. I love Let the Right One In.
Oh, me too.
And Let Me In does have a friend of mine in the movie, and that might give it more credit.
I thought, well, we're not here to talk about Let Me In, but I thought Let Me In filled in some story questions about Let the Right One In that I had, and that kind of allowed me to appreciate it in a different way. Sure. But anyway, we're talking about Wreck. And first 10, 12 minutes, we're just meeting the firemen. She's establishing that rapport with her cameraman, Pablo. What is Pablo's name? Because it's his real name. Pablo Rosso.
Yeah. Rosso or Rosa?
Pablo Rosso.
Yeah, and he is the actual cameraman that shot the movie, like the DP guy.
Yeah, he is the actor slash cinematographer.
Yeah, but you never see him because he's always holding the camera.
Yeah.
You don't see him, right? Not even at the end. I think you see his foot.
Yeah, you see his foot a couple of times and his hand a couple of times too. But then, so they're at the fire station and you're meeting some of the firemen and they're eating meals and playing basketball. It's all late at night and then they get the call to go to the apartment building.
Yeah, someone's in stress and needs to help out of an apartment, and that's it. That's simple.
And they get in the truck and they're on their way.
Apartamento.
One thing that I think this movie also does really well is the incredibly long takes. Really put you into it.
Yeah, and like you said, no script. It's improvisational, so the actors had a general outline, but they had to basically kind of come up with their own lines.
Mm-hmm.
And it works.
Works so well because you see that this first one starts right. The firemen get out of their truck and the camera's just following them as they get their equipment. They cross the street. They go into the apartment. You meet all the people there. There's a bunch of residents in the lobby. Oh, the old lady upstairs screaming bloody murder and I think she fell down and yada, yada, yada. And there's cop cars there. And so the police are there. They start to go up the stairs as the cops come down. The cops are like, what's the TV crew doing here? Yada. But this is going on for minutes up the stairs into the lady's long hallway, the apartment. They catch a glimpse of this old lady wearing a bloody nightgown and just standing there awkwardly. Yeah. Oh, what the...
I should have clocked it to see how long these were, but I didn't. I was too busy reading.
It's, the second time... The second time I watched it,
Did you clock a scene?
Yeah. Because you get two long takes here. When they come into the apartment building after leaving the fire truck, that goes for almost 5 minutes.
Nice.
It's almost 5 minutes when they go up the stairs into her apartment, and then the old lady attacks the cop, like the senior, sergeant there or whatever, bites him in the neck. Ah!
Yeah, I think there's probably a whip pan cut right when they do the bite thing so that she can have like a piece of flesh or something that she's pulling off of his face.
It's interesting because what happens in that moment as the old woman attacks him, Pablo whips around to our reporter who's standing on the other side of the room and she's going, Pablo, what is going on? And then they go back to her and you see the woman long stretch of
so that was probably that was the first cut, was the whip pan to her. And like you said, 5.5 minutes.
And then they're dragging that guy out of the apartment building and they're bringing him downstairs. And now this movie is off and running. And it's a short runtime, too.
It is. It's like 80-some minutes, right?
Oh, it's just moving. And it hardly lets up from here on out. They take the police captain down the stairs. They're trying to get out. We got to get him to an ambulance. And the people in the lobby are like, they're not letting us out. We're locked in here. Yeah. The cops have locked it. They're standing there with guns. They tell them with a megaphone, like, stay inside. Do not attempt to go outside. They're freaking out because the guy's bleeding all over. And they're like, we got to get help. And they see the metal door at the end of the hallway. What's behind that? Oh, it's the textile workshop. It's a very unusual apartment building.
It is. And it was a real apartment building in Barcelona.
100%. They didn't change anything about it.
No. There was no sets. It was all basically what was there.
Yeah.
And they even put the quarantine on the outside of the building just to keep passersby from wanting to check out and find out what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
So they made it seem like it was really quarantined and then there was something legitimately going on there.
Oh,
which I
terrifying.
Think is pretty cool. Yeah. Terrifying. There were some residents that lived in the building, and they had to make deals with them as far as shooting hours or what they were going to pay them for the inconvenience and so on and so forth. But, they shot this movie in 18 days on a budget of about €1.5 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, normally one of the criticisms about found footage movies is they're just cheap filmmaking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Excuses not to get all the crew involved, and it actually works very well in this particular one.
Yeah, completely.
But they're like, we got to get through this metal door. And this is another big long take. When they bring the police sergeant down and they try to get out and they get told they can't get out and everything, and then they're sitting there talking about we got to get through this metal door. And
Yeah.
the other fireman that they left upstairs with the old lady falls
Yeah.
3 stories and splats on the lobby floor.
And I backed it up like a couple of times, and he kind of comes from the corner of the frame in like a 10-foot fall or like a 5-foot fall, boom, to hit the floor.
Yeah.
But it's so effective.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and he's just bleeding all over the floor, and then everyone's freaking out. It's a great sort of like emergency room kind of like this is real moment of like, oh my god, what are we gonna? We gotta help him. And there's blood going all over the place. Yeah, it's fucking well done for sure.
Yeah. And then 2 things about that. One, I read that the actors did not know that was going to happen.
Oh, good.
So they just, made sure the people that needed to know were clear of the area. And then poof, they dropped that thing in. So all of the people freaking out and looking like startled, that's all real, baby.
It's good shit. Yeah. You got to fucking startle them.
And it brings me to another thing that I really like about this movie is that is a jump scare, right? Like all of a sudden, the guy flies out of nowhere, splat. It is.
There's some great jump
startling.
scares in this movie.
There's some great jump scares, and we talked about Smile 2 a couple episodes ago, and I was bemoaning the fact that the jump scares are overused in that, and what I don't like. And it's got some great ones, but I just think for the most part it's overused. There's no score or soundtrack in Rec.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
So there's no music. So they don't do the cheap around the corner stinger. You know, where the person turns around and there's the thing.
Yeah, there's no
beep. Yeah, or yeah, exactly. They just go around the corner and suddenly they hit the This one, the jump scares come from just the image on the screen and something suddenly happening there.
What sound do you mean? There's none of that.
Yeah. No, and I think it makes the jump scares when they happen earned. You know, they really get earned by the filmmaking. And for that, I'm all for it. I'm all for the way this one, when it chooses to jump out at you.
Alexa, how do you say jump scare in Spanish?
Salto de susto is the Spanish term for jump scare. Alternatively, you can use susto repentino or sorpresa de terror.
Oh, sorpresa de terror.
Sí. Sorpresa de terror.
Nice.
Me gusta a lot. But after that old lady bites the sergeant and they bring him downstairs and they can't get out and they're freaking out and the guy falls from the 2nd or 3rd story splat. I mean, it's just relentless. And they do take a moment after that where, they cut and the reporter and the cameraman are like, let's figure out what's going on. And they're kind of going into reporter mode from just freaking out of like, we've got to keep taping this. We've got to show people what's going on in this apartment.
She even says that. She's like, don't stop taping. The world needs to know what's going on here.
Yeah, so they go back up into the old lady's apartment where Alex, the fireman, has just presumably fallen out of there. And the cop is up there. The younger cop who kind of looks like a low-rent Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yes, totally.
And they're peeking down the hallway, and some other woman that we've never seen before comes screaming out of a room, bouncing off the walls, and just falls down dead in front of them.
Yeah.
And then the old lady is there again.
I wonder how much of this was surprises to the cast.
Oh, man. It seemed
Hopefully
like,
a lot.
From what I read with the script and some of the gags they pulled, a lot of it was a surprise.
Yeah, because this movie feels like a haunt. Like you're walking through a haunt.
Yeah.
Which is good. I would pay a lot of money to go to this apartment building and be scared as I try to figure out what the fuck is going on and how to escape it.
Oh,
like
man.
the best fucking escape room ever.
It's very claustrophobic,
Extremely.
Whoever did the site scouting and found this weird apartment building did a great job. Because I understand they did very little obviously some parts of this movie, like the end, there's a lot of set dressing and stuff like that. But they changed very little about the doors and the setup and all that. But yeah, the old lady comes charging down the hallway and our cop just shoots her a few times, puts her down. oh, God, what are we going to do? They head back downstairs, and they've opened that metal door, and they're going to take the policeman and the fireman who somehow didn't die when he took that fall.
Yeah, the 3-story face plant.
Yes. They're going to take them into the textile workshop to lie them down because that's the only place they've really got room to do it. And one of the other characters there is like a medical intern or something who's like, all I do is give shots and stuff. I'm not a doctor, but I'll do the best I can. So they're setting them up there, and they try and exit out the back door of that place. We can get out through the back door, and they find out that the building has been surrounded on all sides, and they've started a BNC protocol.
Yes, the biohazard protocol for stay away from this building, and I guess that's what they actually put on the outside of the real apartment building to keep people onlookers from wanting to get too close.
It's a bold move, man.
It's a great
bold move.
I fucking love that.
Yeah, surprisingly didn't attract an actual news team to the site.
Yeah. Well, they probably had local cops, right, that were just kind of also keeping the lockdown, but yeah, you want to keep people out of the building when you're not shooting too. So you're just going to want to make it seem like it's some kind of biohazard, which is great.
Yeah, and this is when you find out they got no cell phone reception, the TVs aren't working, the radios aren't working, they're feeling isolated.
Yeah, they've been jammed completely.
The mother with the daughter is like, please, my daughter, she's got tonsillitis, she's got a fever, my husband went out for
that's not tonsillitis.
Medication. Yeah,
no way is that tonsillitis.
Exactly. Tick, tick, tick.
Yeah.
Just waiting
There's
for her
your
to go
ticking
off.
time bomb right there. When's the little girl going to turn into a crazy psycho?
Yeah. They still manage to surprise me when it happens, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I mean, when she goes over, though, it's like a snap of your fingers and suddenly she's wearing makeup. It is one of those things.
Yeah. And they think, okay, we can't get out here. Maybe there's the balcony and the back patio. So they go to a different part of the building. I mean, they're just trying to constantly get out because they've got these people that need medical attention. And that's when you see, like, actually out the window, there's like a bunch of look like SWAT members with canine. Yeah. You can hear a chopper overhead. And they're like,
and you're like,
back away from the windows. Like, oh. And then what I found to be like in a movie that has so many, like, zombies and gnarly effects and jump scares, when they're standing there and then you just see the plastic sheeting roll from on top of the building and cover the windows, I was like, cool. That's chilling. Yeah. That's something you never want to see from that side.
It also keeps them from having to show anything outside the building anymore. Now you can do everything with just shadow play. You don't even need guys in costumes out there.
Yeah, right?
Which is perfect. This is a masterclass in cheap filmmaking and found footage, Obviously the first one, fucking Blair Witch, whatever. But this takes the cake. And like you said, neither one of us are fans of found footage, although we did like Late Night with the Devil. But we don't really consider that so much found footage. It's a little bit more of a real movie than found footage.
Yeah, that one, Late Night with the Devil, definitely bends and breaks the rules a little bit on what the found footage setup was. But, it's a trope that's so it had gotten overused. Yeah. Especially, and Rec is coming out right in the heyday of it all.
Sure.
So I think probably there were people that when it came out were like, I'm not even going to give it a shot. So if that was you, listener, and I'm talking to you, we're like, this is the one you want to give a shot to, because this movie,
especially if you speak Spanish, then you should totally see this movie. You don't even have to read the subtitles. You can just focus on the film.
And the Surpriso de Terror.
See. Surpriso de Terror.
And we cut, we do take a breath. She cuts back to, like, reporting. All right, Pablo, we got to let everyone know what's going on. And you get to know a little bit the couples who you've seen so far. There's a pretty hilarious little exchange with the old couple. There's an old lady and her husband.
Each other. Yes. That is so classic. That's like, don't tell me my place, woman.
Yeah. You don't need to speak Spanish to understand that little bit.
Yeah. You could just read the body language on that.
Both of them. Both of them are great. And the cast in this, when we mentioned it, was a bunch of unknowns, but they all look absolutely authentic and real and believable. And you meet the woman with her sick little girl who's got tonsillitis.
Tonsillitis, quote, end quote. Yeah. Her husband went out to get some medicine because the little girl has a fever. Meanwhile, they're biohazard shutting down the building and nobody's going, don't go near the little girl with a fever. What's going on? Oh, somebody's sick. Yeah.
They will a little bit later. Actually, it might even be around this scene because you also meet the Japanese couple and their son. And she's like, my father is sick and he's upstairs.
And we're like, wait a minute, someone's still upstairs.
Yeah, well, and it's also, like all of the people in the apartment are like, I think I'm giving them Southern accents. That's not nice. Yeah. I think it's the Japanese. It's the Chinese immigrants. They want to blame it on the immigrants and shit. So as soon as the Chinese woman's like,
it was a very American thing for them to do. That's why you gave them a Southern accent.
It is. Well, I guess as it is here, as it is there. But,
sure.
Yeah, they do look at the little girl for a second there, and the woman's like, back off, everyone. And you also meet Cesar, I think, at this point, who is just sort of like I think you might have even say, like, I lived with my mom for a long time, and then she passed away, and now I live in her. And he's, receding hairline, pencil-thin mustache, he's wearing an ascot and a pinky ring, and he just looks like a creep.
Is he the one that's like, which side?
Which I think even better in this profile. Like, he's really getting
he's
into
treating it like
TV
he's auditioning for a role.
Yes. Yeah.
And in a way, he probably was. Right?
Yeah. It's funny because he's the first one that does it too. He's like, which side do I look better on? Is it this profile? And then he just leans in. He's like, I think it's the Chinese. They eat raw fish. And you're like, oh my God.
And I was thinking, do Chinese immigrants eat raw fish? Because I've never actually heard that.
Well, that again, it's because I think they're Japanese.
They're Japanese, yeah. But he's just ignorant. Chinese, Japanese, and dirty knees. Look at these.
Yeah. Cesar he's not winning any friends with the audience at that point.
No.
You also learn that, the people outside are going to send a health inspector in. They're going to take blood tests. Once we're clear, everybody can leave. Okay.
Sounds legit.
Everybody's chilling out. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Let's just do this blood test real quick.
Yeah.
So they let that guy in the building.
Yeah. Which is also a scene that you don't really want to be on that side of the plastic sheeting when the dude in the yellow hazmat suit and full respirator steps through like...
Yeah. You're like,
shit.
Okay.
What's going on?
Reminded me of E.T. or... whatchamacallit? The...
Outbreak?
No, Richard Dreyfuss. Come on.
Close Encounters?
Drawing a blank. Close Encounters.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind? Yeah.
Yeah, where all the government guys are in the hazmat suits. Yeah.
I did mention Outbreak, which is a movie that I saw a bit of not too long ago. There's a movie that hasn't really aged that well.
Yeah, right.
When you watch, it's good for a laugh now. When you watch Outbreak, and you're like, that's not how it happens.
That's not. Yeah,
you'd be a little bit more cautious.
I remember seeing Outbreak in the theater, and I remember coughing a lot.
Yeah.
And thinking,
everyone around you.
I'm going to make people feel weird about being in here. And there's even that moment in the movie where it's a movie theater and somebody sneezes and you see like the particles. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, yeah, I guess they're right.
Well, you will get some ground rules from the health inspector when he comes in. I think it's a little bit later when he talks about it's passed through saliva, and it depends on the blood type as to how fast it will react. And
okay, I must have been looking down at that point.
Yeah, I thought I've never heard a zombie movie or a movie that is like, the pathogen gets spread like this, actually lay it out like that. Why some people transform immediately, and why some people it takes like all night to make the change. And I was like, that's very clever. I'm surprised every zombie movie doesn't have that as part of the lore.
Sure. Although, in the end, and we might as well mention it now, it may not be a zombie movie.
Yes. I mean, to call them zombies, if you want to get technical about it, it might be a misnomer. Right?
Demonic possession.
Yeah, but we'll get there because it is a. I remember when that moment comes up and they flip on the lights. The first time I watched this movie, I went, "Oh no, what is happening now?"
Yeah, I was like,
because it is a big. It's a left turn, and I think it just depends on how much you've been.
No.
Yes,
exactly, Mark Wahlberg.
But, so yeah, the health inspector is in, and he's tending to the policemen and the firemen who were injured, and our reporter's like, we gotta film this. Yeah. So Pablo sticks his camera through like a transom window or something to get a look at it, and she's like, what do you see, Pablo? It's some of Pablo's only lines right here, because he's like, shh, shut up. Shut up. In fact, most of the time, Pablo's lines in this are like, shh, be quiet. Shh, stop.
He's just, Pablo's job is to just get annoyed at the actors.
Shh, you're going to get us killed. And then he sees, they're handcuffing the policemen and the firemen to the gurneys or whatever they've set up there. And he's injecting their faces, and you get some chewed up bits, I think, and some lenses over the eyes. Maybe that was done digitally. I'm not exactly sure.
Probably not digital. It was probably just some lenses. You can get lenses fairly cheaply now.
They attack. They both come back to life. They chew on the intern guy who is trying to help them out. And the health inspector and Manu, the fireman, and the cop run out, and they meet up with the reporters outside and lock the door. And the health inspector is like, we got to get the fuck out of here. This is when he lays down the ground rules of like what they're dealing with. Because right now, everyone's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Okay, and they escape out to the metal door. They close that metal door, and in the lobby there, the inspector says, like,
it's the Chinese people, they've been eating raw fish. And,
and roll credits.
Exactly. It was the salmon pate. But I didn't have the salmon pate.
Kung Po chicken. Oh. But and the health inspector says, listen, we got a call from a vet that this dog went crazy and killed all the animals, and an unidentified virus was found in the dog. Earlier on in the movie, the little girl had interviewed the little girl who had said, like, my dog got sick and it's at the vet.
Yeah. And so, I'm like, it sure the fuck is.
And this is another really long take in the movie, actually, when they come out here and they have all this. And so the reporter's like, was the dog's name Max? And the health inspector's like, yeah, how did you know? And they all just
slow
look.
Yeah, turn to the left to the mother holding the little girl. She's been holding her like most of the movie, like in her arms. Like, okay, honey, it's okay.
She's like,
she just has tonsillitis. Yeah. And so bites her.
The girl just bites her in the face. That's
what? No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's some tonsillitis, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Bites her in the face, the zombie's out, and runs up the stairs. Oh, shit. Oh.
Yeah. It's a good little moment, for sure.
It's intense.
I mean, anytime you get a little kid that is like a creepy monster and running around and freaking out, it's good. They have this frenetic energy. I've worked with little kids before as far as like, putting them in like a gory makeup and playing all Halloween with it. And here, this is going to be fun. And they always have such a good time, too.
Yeah.
They have a blast. And it's just, you could tell that the little girl was really getting into it and enjoying the fact that she's the monster and everybody's scared of her. And she looks
best
creepy.
Kind of make-believe, yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. It's good.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the fucking joy you want everybody to have with it.
Yeah.
I think it's different when you've got someone in a makeup chair for 8 hours before they have to go do it.
If you're doing the fucking Robert Picardo on
them. Don't even get to film that day. That might take some of the joy out of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, but one time I made McKenna Grace, me and another guy, Carrie Ayers, who's actually one of our Patreon listeners.
Hey.
We did a makeup on McKenna Grace, so she looked like she got shot in the face with a shotgun. She loved it.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good times.
So the girl runs upstairs And they're like, oh, we got to chase after her and inject her with this stuff. The health inspector gives Sacha Baron Cohen cop the needle. He's like, you got to go up there and inject her. And the woman is just screaming, like, my baby, what are you doing to my baby? And they kind of like push her against the railing and handcuff her to the railing. Like, you got to stay here, lady. You're freaking out.
Yeah.
And then we chase, I think it's still this long take. We chase up the stairs again, back into the old lady's apartment.
Yeah.
Ooh, and guess what? The bodies that were there earlier, the woman who had bounced against the walls and the old lady, they're not there anymore.
What? No.
That's right.
Yes, Mark
They have
Wahlberg.
moved on.
Oh, SpaghettiOs. So they go into the place and they're looking around, and then, around the corner, there's the little girl.
Yep.
And the cop is really cool about it. This cop who's been kind of freaking out this whole movie. He's like, it's okay. It's okay. Well, and it's like, you just saw this girl chew on her own mom's face. You should, throw a blanket over her and jam the needle in.
Or shoot her in the head.
You just don't fuck around. Because, of course, he tries to play it cool, and she's like,
Yeah.
Gets
She's
him
either
too.
a zombie
Or a vampire.
Nosferatu. Yeah, she gets the cop. They're running, and the cop knows now. He's like, I've been bitten. Everybody out of here. And so Manu and our journalist and the cameraman are running out, and there's the old lady again. Mm-hmm. And Manu, who's been carrying around a sledgehammer to help open doors and stuff.
Time to use it.
Holy smokes.
Let's open that old lady's door.
Nothing like an old lady taking a sledgehammer to the face to give you a little chuckle, huh? Oh, didn't quite go the first time, Manu. First one was a foul tip, but the second one, solid contact. She goes all the way down.
Knocking on that old lady's door.
Holy smokes. Wants to be her sledgehammer, and Manu, boom, takes her out. Mm-hmm. Good stuff. It was also during this struggle with the cop and the little girl, and Manu was in there too, that they asked the cameraman for help. And my daughter, who did not see all of this movie, but she saw this part, she just goes, dude, quit your job. Talking to the cameraman. She's like, you gotta put the camera down at this point.
Yeah, Harper's hot takes are good.
Yeah, dude, quit your job.
That's perfect.
He will end up doing that a little bit later in the movie, but that is kind of one of the constraints of that found footage trope, right? Is that the cameraman always
is always running it.
Yeah,
totally.
And it goes absolutely fucking nuts from this point out. They go back out into the hallway, and downstairs in the lobby, shit is going crazy because the zombies are coming through the metal door.
And the mom is turned to the one that's chained to the banister.
She's not turned. She's not turned yet because they
that's right.
don't.
She turns when they go down there.
Yeah, well, because they're trying to keep the door from coming up, and they can't. And the zombies are coming, and they're like, "We gotta unlock the handcuffs. Where's the key?" And they're like, "The cop has the key, and he's back up in the apartment because the little girl bit him." So they were like, "Fuck!" So they end up having to leave the woman there as the zombies are coming in, and they're like, "I'm sorry." So they run back upstairs.
I forgot that.
And that's when they all hide in Cesar's apartment.
Which side is better? Is it this side or is it this side over here?
Do you like my collection of porcelain plates with pictures of kittens and Elvis Presley on them?
I have always been a fan of Elvis Presley.
Elvis is the best. Do you like my ascot collection? I have one for every color of the rainbow.
I learned this from Charlton Heston, who is a famous American actor.
I just did like a French accent there, and I apologize to the Spanish-speaking people.
You're right on the border there.
I am.
Right You're Pyrenees. You're right on.
I was going to say, what's that area again?
I think that's the Pyrenees, not the fucking mountains.
Or does it start with a C, like Calistoga or Cala something?
Catalonia or
Catatonia?
Catalan?
Catatonia? Catalan. That's what it is.
Catatonia.
Catatonia? Is that where all the sleepy people live?
Now we apologize.
Yeah. Catalan.
We were only warming up to the apology.
Yeah. I promise. We are sorry.
Yeah. So they're all hiding in Cesar's apartment, and they're like, oh, what do we do? I think they get warned again, stay away from the windows.
Yeah, they're going to get shot.
There's no escape.
Which at this point might be better.
Well, therein is the conundrum of all of these movies, right?
Sure.
Where you're like, I want to root for you, but really, you should probably just stay in this apartment building.
Yeah.
You're on your own.
You really shouldn't get out and spread this.
We can't let this happen.
Yeah.
The health inspector is in there too, and he says like, I've been bit, like you got to stay away from me. And I thought, as soon as he said he was bit, they should have dragged his ass, opened the door, kicked him out, and been like, and just locked Caesar's door again. I'm like, all right, you're on your own then.
All right, later, dude.
But they don't. They just pull this like sliding metal door in Cesar's apartment. Again, this is a weird apartment building.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if these rooms all had some other purpose before they became apartments, because they have a lot of weird layouts and weird doors, and this one has like a sliding metal gate that goes across, and Cesar says, oh, there may be a different way. There's a underground tunnel underneath the textile workshop that goes to the sewers below. You just need the key. I'm like, where's the key? Well, the intern had the key. You know, it's starting to feel maybe a little video gamey right now.
Exactly. You got a fetch quest now.
Yeah. The dungeon master is like, but in order to get the key, you must inquire in the apartment of Ronaldo.
Yeah.
You must answer 3 riddles.
And Ronaldo has been turned into a vampire.
Yes. Yeah, it's a little much at this point, but they're like, at least there's hope. Okay, we've got a plan. And as Cesar's telling them this, that's when the guy busts from behind the metal gate and then starts biting on Cesar's head. Oh shit, we got to get out of here. So they unlock the apartment, and they're like, I don't know what apartment the intern lives in. Oh, but down at the mailboxes.
His name. We'll go to the mailboxes. Enter chained up zombie mom.
Yes, which they have to avoid. And that's a good little, because that's one of those things where like they pass her and she's lying down, and then when the camera turns back around, she's just standing up looking at them. You're like, uh-oh.
With no sound effects, of course.
Yes. Yes.
And she's got the long chain on, so she's like that pit bull that can go so far in the yard.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm safe at that tree, which is right, I can barely get around the pit bull's reach.
Yeah, and so they have to go up the stairs, and she kind of scales the side of the stairway and is actually able to almost get over. Yeah. So our reporter and cameraman get past. Manu stays behind and pushes her off. And now there's just zombies popping out of everywhere at this point. Sure. I think like the Japanese guy approaches Manu and he gives him the old Nagasaki neck twist, just snaps it. And drops him down. The Japanese woman is there, and Manu's like, give me the mallet, give me the hammer, and he tries hammering her, and they
gives her the old Hitachi hammer.
Yeah.
Trying to think of other Japanese words that start with H.
The Hiroshima hammer.
That's right. Which was my wrestling name. I don't know if you know
the
that.
Hiroshima hammer.
Yeah.
That's not bad as wrestling names go. That's a good one.
Yeah.
But they get into the intern's apartment, and they're looking for the key. And, I mean, it's all for naught, really, because by the time they, just chaotically move around there and find a key and they get back out, again, it's just zombies all the way down. They're not getting there. They've got to run upstairs to the penthouse, which we'd heard before. Nobody really lives up there.
There's that Brazilian guy that owns it, and he's never there.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But they managed to find the key and lock themselves in there. And it's all dark. Oh, we got to use the light. And they turn on the light on the camera, and that's when you see all the weird Catholic crosses and statues of Jesus and newspaper clippings and photos with people's eyes scratched out, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
my
it's
God.
two different apartments melded together. It's the priest from The Omen and Eddie Quist.
Yeah, it is. It does
Yeah.
have that mix. That
Yeah.
You're 100% correct. But
Yeah.
there's even more in there, too, because you've got the Catholic side of it, which is, it's Catholic creepy, you know.
Yep.
And then you've got creepy science, because there's a bunch of test tubes and beakers, and they all kind of weird-looking alembics and flasks with their necks sort of twisted around, and like, what the fuck is going on in this place? And
Yeah, it is weird for sure. And they're just discovering all this stuff. And everything looks like it's been there for months and it's dirty. I'm imagining that place smells awful. Like,
oh my gosh.
I don't remember anyone saying something about. Did they say something about the smell?
No, but you get that sense, because everything, all the paper looks sort of like mildewy or yellowed, and
And then they start to uncover the demonic possession stuff. And that's where I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
No, this must have just been someone's interpretation of what could possibly have been going on, but not actually real. But then, have you seen the sequel?
I've not seen Rec 2.
In the first, 10 minutes of Rec 2, they go back into it's 15 minutes after Rec 1 ends. And they're going back into the apartment building. It's some SWAT cops.
SWAT guys? Okay.
Yeah, and they're sent in with a health guy from, the World Health Organization. And they go in there, and within 10 minutes, you find out the World Health Organization guy is actually a priest, and he tells them all about the demonic possession and that the church has been tracking it. And you're like, wait a minute, what?
Okay.
So, this is all demons, actually, and not zombies.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
You know, for a movie that has been almost a seamless, relentless hell ride up to this point. Once this movie starts going, hot dog, it is fucking screaming towards the end. And then they get into this place, and it's like they begin to piece together a whole movie's worth of mystery in 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
What's this clipping? Oh, wait, what's this one over here? What's
becomes
this
an info
scientific
dump.
experiment?
Yeah.
Oh, here's an old tape recorder. And they push it. There's just one thing after another. And you discover. Yeah, you
I buried her in the earthen floor of the cellar. I'm like, yeah, that is that's the Evil Dead fucking reel-to-reel recorder. And what's funny is that they'll rewind it to an important part.
Yeah.
And then they'll rewind it further, and it's an important part. It's the perfect little info dump. Yeah.
Yeah. You never get to that part where he's like, what was I going to say again? Or, gotta remind myself to buy more oranges. Ran out of oranges.
I don't want scurvy. Scurvy's been rampant in the apartment lately.
Hold on. I'm getting a call. He just picks up the phone. You hear it recorded. He's talking to his ex-wife on the phone. No, it's not what I said at all. I get her every other weekend.
I don't know what makes you think that. I don't care what the judge said.
It's always the bit of information you need. That's for sure. And in this one, you find out through that and the newspaper clippings that there was a possessed girl who was taken in by the church, and he was doing experiments on her. Now, I don't know if it's trying to cure her or isolate.
In the sequel, it is. They are talking about they are sure they can get a vaccine to fix this. A vaccine to fix demonic possession. But all right, sure.
Well, I wasn't sure, though, if
it's holy water and a smack on the ass with the New Testament.
You're really overthinking this, guys. I mean, I appreciate that you've got the Bunsen burner out there, and
all you need is the communion wafer, some grape juice, a little Hail Mary.
Put the pipette down, Father Mackenzie. Just put it down, please. There's no
Listen,
need.
Father, handle me. You've done quite a bit.
Bishop Pedro, you can stop the centrifuge. Really, it's just holy water. And a smack on the ass. But I wasn't sure if they were trying to cure it or if they inadvertently caused the gene to mutate and cause the outbreak because they were trying to cure it or what, Kim. It didn't really matter that much.
Well, they're definitely not clear on it. And honestly, I didn't have time to finish watching Rec 2 before we recorded, so I don't know how it ends.
Oh. So also in this moment, you have just an unnecessary cheap jump scare. I mean, most of them are solid gold in this movie, but the trap door comes out in the ceiling and Pablo's like, I'm going to stick my head up there. And she's like, Pablo,
really?
don't do it. And you're like, yeah, Pablo, what the fuck?
Yeah, come on, Pablo. That door didn't just open on its own.
But he sticks his head up there and he moves the camera around, and the little Japanese boy who's a zombie has somehow got up in the attic.
Yeah.
I don't know. And scares you. And so he falls down and the light comes off, breaks, and then he's like, hold on, I have to start the night vision camera.
That's a great moment when the light is out and it's completely black. This movie and the next movie have scenes that are completely black.
You're right.
Where none of the characters can see, and you just hear the terror in their voices, or you read the terror in their voices. It's cool. And I haven't been reminded of that since Kill Bill 2. Remember that whole entire sequence where she gets buried alive?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good moment too. So those are three examples of how this works in a movie by not showing you anything and just going completely audio.
Yeah.
Like a podcast, like a horror podcast, indeed.
And from what I understand, when they go into night vision, the actors really could not see what they were doing. So when they're stumbling around and bumping into stuff, that's all.
Because what was it? It was Illuminación de ver se minimalistia and naturalista. Yeah.
Hey, listen.
They used all natural lighting.
Don't act it if you don't have to. You know, if you get, and I'm not like proposing like to be so method actor about everything that you're a pain in the ass, because nobody wants that. But you
don't got to be Robert De Niro all the time.
Yeah. You know, if I could pretend not to see, or you could just turn the lights out, I'm always going to say, just turn the lights out.
Yeah. You know who does a great job of pretending not to see? Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport.
Oh, beautiful. Well, thank goodness he had all that training with his master before the Kumite.
Yeah, it's important.
But then night vision happens, and we're going to get, it's overused, but I think correct, true nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
Because the thing at the end of this movie, the first time I watched this and I got to that, I was profoundly uncomfortable by this design.
Yeah. That's a real dude. That's a real Spanish guy, you know.
It's gross and weird, and the night vision makes it look weird, and the saggy panties thing that it's wearing, and it's just this emaciated, wraith-like thing stumbling around, which I'm assuming is supposed to be the possessed girl.
Yeah, like a starved version of her that's probably been locked away in this apartment for months and months and months.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like a back from the dead and demonically possessed, you know, rail thin. You can see every bone.
Rail thin.
And they use that guy in Mother, where they actually sort of puppeteered him through a scene where they used him like a marionette. And he's kind of a contortionist, and he's super creepy and bony. And that guy did a lot of like monstery kind of work in films. He's
so thin and it's uncomfortable to look at.
Yeah.
And the design and the night vision, they're like trying to be quiet. And again, Pablo's like, shh, shut your mouth, be quiet.
Yeah.
But it's not to be, because they trip over like a bedpan or something, goes clattering across. That thing is like, it makes this terrible Nazgul-like screech at them, and then comes after, like awkwardly swinging a hammer at the guy. And Pablo gets hit, the camera falls down on the ground, and then our girl, Angela, is freaking out, running around. The sound on the camera is a little wonky now, and then eventually you see her, she picks up the camera, sees the thing, freaks out, drops it, and you can't really tell where she is, if she's like under a bed or something. It looks like, because the camera's on the ground and she has crawled under something and is waiting there before you get a shot that would be ripped. I don't know, did Rec do it first? It's certainly been ripped off in like 5 or 6 movies after this.
Yeah, a ton of movies. I can't say that Rec did it first, but they do it well, right?
It was the first time I remember seeing it, which is essentially the person's, you know, lying on their tummy, their face at the camera, and they get dragged away by their feet into the darkness.
Yeah.
Wow. It was the first time I had seen it, and after that horrifying monster, Javier Botet, that's his name.
Yes. I've been looking it up, and I couldn't find it.
Yeah,
I'm just looking up super skinny Spanish guy, and it's giving me muy flaco, muy delgado, chico, hombre. I'm like, no, un chico muy flaco. I'm like, no, that's not what I need.
Yeah, Javier Botet, he's truly terrifying in this. In a movie that really has its share of frightening moments.
He's 6'7".
Well, he's like Doug Jones, right? In the same respect. Like super tall, super skinny, does a lot of that same kind of work. 6'7"? Good Lord.
And it was Mama. It wasn't Mother. I was confusing, Mama, Mother, however you do it.
Well, I think I was thinking of Mama. Oh, yeah, Mother was the Jennifer Lawrence, Darren Aronofsky movie, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even see that one. But Mama, I did.
Me either.
But how do you want to rate this? What do you want to rate Wreck with?
Good question.
Sledgehammers.
Sledgehammer.
Hypodermic needles. Bites to the face. We got a few bites to the face in this one.
Yeah, I'll go bites to the face. How many bites to the face would you give this hapless Spanish victim?
I think Wreck is one of the best horror movies to come out in the turn of the century.
Really?
I give Wreck a 9.
Holy smokes.
I love this movie. I do. It's one of my, I think, up there with, I really love The Babadook. I really loved The Ring. And I love this one. Because, again, when I saw it with a group of people who were having a great time.
Sure.
And I felt like this movie delivered on so many levels. And watching it again, I was like, look at all these long takes. Look at the lack of a soundtrack, which makes the jump scares feel really earned to me. And that last monster is just the stuff of nightmares.
Yeah.
So I love it. I think as much as I don't like found footage movies, I'd recommend this one to anyone. I think it's great.
Sure. I would too. For some reason, I just don't like it as much. Like if I'm going to give something an 8 or a 9, it's something I can put on any time and watch, right?
Sure.
Whether it's for nostalgic reasons, like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, which is a solid 8.
Jesus.
Or some other garbage film that I have rated higher than you. What did I give Child's Play? Did I give that an 8 or a 7? I can't even remember.
I don't know, but Child's Play.
Not to say that Child's Play is a garbage film, because it's not. This movie is brilliantly made and well done. It just doesn't, like at the end when it makes that switch over to demonic possession, I'm like, I'm not so sure about this idea. And then
it's a big left turn. It's certainly a big left turn when you get to that. And is it unnecessary? I mean, I watched it again with my wife the other day, and I heard her make the audible, like, air through the teeth, like, when you get to that. So
to me, that air through the teeth is going to change it from like an 8 to a 7.5.
Yeah. I think that might have happened, but the creature design at the end of it is... Like, if you had to wait the entire movie for the reveal of a monster, that's a fucking good monster.
And yet it's not even like a monster. It's just the dude, right?
Well, but there's
some facial
costume,
stuff going on.
The greasy hair. Yeah, it looks like they got like a Hostess cupcake smeared all around their mouth. There's some saggy breasts on it too.
You're right. There is some makeup going on there for sure, and it is very reminds me of Barbarian.
Makes that terrible noise. Makes an absolutely terrible screeching noise.
Yeah, but Barbarian, of course, just came out a couple of years ago. So Barbarian would take its notes from this movie and from this final creature. But that reveal in Barbarian is great, too. I don't know. Have you seen that movie? I just spoiled it for you.
That's okay. I know what I'm getting into.
Presumed Innocent?
Yeah.
His
wife did it.
Yeah.
Oh, but...
Heckibus.
I haven't seen that movie yet.
That's because I'm evil.
That's a big, long Kids in the Hall reference for those of you who might not be picking up what we're laying down. So you're giving this 7.5? 7.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
And not to say that there's anything wrong with the movie. It just doesn't trigger with me 100%. I like it, and it's well done, but it's not something I'm going to watch frequently.
Yeah, well, because we watch them more than once, right? Well, we try to watch them more than once for this. And there are some movies that I'm like, I don't want to watch that one again.
Sure.
And then there are some that I'm like, I can't wait to see what I missed. And I definitely wanted to dig back into this one. Yeah. I have a nostalgic spot for this movie, and I just think it's relentless. After they get out of that firehouse, the first 10 minutes of this movie, this fucking thing doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it's good, for sure.
Well, shall we head to the lobby for a little bit? And then
we shall.
We can go just to the north where, let's see.
Past the catatonic state.
I still have a Spanish accent. So what can I say? How can I get down to the French accent? Yes, oui.
Yes, my friend. Yes, I will tell you all about all the...
King Louis.
Yeah.
All right. I'll
see you in there.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the diva to get ourselves a treat.
Listen, things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Okay, so from película de terror to, how do we say this?
Cinema Phantasmal. I don't know.
The film de horror.
Film de horror? Cinema de horror. Horror.
Film de épouvante.
Épouvant? Ne? Épouvant?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I worked on a lot of Alex Aja movies.
Aja movies?
See? That's...
Oui.
I'm speaking Spanish again, I'm sorry.
Oui.
Oui. And, he would always use, this guy Maxime as the DP. And, I've worked with a lot of French people in the film industry. And they're always going on in French. So I was like, man, I'm going to learn French just so I can hear what they're fucking talking about. And one day I went to Alex Aja and I was like, hey, so I decided I'm going to learn French. And he looked at me and he goes, why? And I went, so I can speak to you. And he goes, we can speak in English. I'm like, okay.
Oh, all right. Make it easy for me.
Sure. Fine. You don't want me to learn your language and butcher it? Fine.
It is curious that we just picked two movies that were required subtitles.
Again, we didn't pick them.
Oh, that's right. The Discord did this to us.
Yeah.
They can get to the Discord if they join our Patreon. They can even join our Patreon for free if they want to do that.
Yeah, if you want to be that person. You can join the Patreon for free and get access to the Discord.
Well, they get a lot of other stuff from the Patreon too, right?
Absolutely. If you join at the $4 level, you get all this extra stuff that we create for you guys, whether it's some kind of commercials, videos, weird little things we do.
There's trailers.
Patreon-only podcast content. Sometimes we cut things out of the show because the show runs too fucking long, and then we'll take stories and we'll put them just on a Patreon thing for here's an 11-minute piece you didn't hear before, or here's a funny story.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I got to post that thing about you not having VD.
Oh, yes, please do, because if you listen to that episode, it kind of sounds like I do. So we've got to post the thing that very clearly says I do not have herpes.
Yes. I will do that tonight.
But no, there are a lot of good little stories on there that are still funny and still good. They just a little too much for the episode.
You get most of that at the $2 level too. You just don't get access to the live shows. For the $2 level. So your real value is less than a cost of a cup of coffee.
There is exciting news in terms of the live show, too. We're not going to talk about it quite yet, but there may be something in the works here.
Yeah, like an actual live show.
Yeah.
Like a live show.
Yeah.
Not just us goofing around watching a movie and you can sit in with us and listen.
But maybe.
This is different.
don't talk about the job until your name is on the contract. But
I agree.
Looking good. But we are not here to... I'm still Spanish. Still got my Spanish accent.
Oh, my friend. So we are not here.
Maybe I'm going to talk about Infested, so maybe can you cue me up like a little
French
accordion?
music?
Yeah, give me a little accordion music on here.
Sure.
And then I'll see if I can... I'll just pretend that I am smoking cigarettes on Parisian cafe. No?
Looks like you are wearing a beret and you've got the baguette.
Oui, monsieur. Infested 2024, directed by Sebastian Vanisek, starring Theo Christine as Caleb, Jérôme Niel as Mathus, Sophia Lassafra as Lila. France. The Revolution, the Eiffel Tower, berets, baguettes, croissants, vermine. Infested tells the story of Caleb, a streetwise kid who lives with his sister in a rundown apartment. His mother has died. His relationship with his sister Marron is on the rocks. Caleb drifts day to day trying to sell stolen Nikes to local kids so he can raise money to buy more exotic insects and reptiles from Le Black Market. Most recently, a spider has caught his eye, so he decides to purchase it without knowing too much about it and bring it back to the projects.
You're starting to sound like a Nazi. World War II Nazi smoking. We will ask the questions.
Yeah, you're right. I'm starting to go Alsace-Lorraine French. Because you see, let's get back to Eiffel Tower. Because you see, Caleb is what you might call a fucking idiot. Pardon my French. Seriously. Yeah. It's called Infested, and all the marketing materials are crawling with spiders, so you know where this is going.
Yeah.
Caleb and his young friends give Infested a little bit of that attack the block feeling, interspersed with good old French class struggle and more hairy legs than a turn-of-the-century Moulin Rouge. Infested. If you've got a thing for spiders, fasten the seatbelt, no? Infested. Tell me, Michel, what do you think?
This film, let me say, first of all, I'm not a fan of spiders, right?
Too many legs.
It's no good. Too many legs.
2 legs? Oui, oui. 4 legs? Oui, oui.
It's okay.
6 legs?
No.
8 legs?
No.
8 or more legs.
It's no good. It's très mal.
Ça right? Not so right.
Not so right. Très mal is no très bien. Huh? So, how do I feel about this movie? Everyone's been saying how great this movie is. So I kind of went into it with this movie's going to be great feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you're right. Caleb is a fucking idiot.
Yeah. We'll get into it in the spoilers, but somebody take the keys away from this kid.
Yeah.
As our protagonist, I was like, how many bad decisions are you going to let this kid make? Like I said, he gets, and this is the beginning of the movie, he finds like an exotic spider in a black market shop in the back of the shop.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I like it. And let me take it home, huh? Yeah. And oh, Jesus. Bad decision after bad decision after bad decision.
I'm just going to pay a bunch of money for this thing. I don't even know what it is.
Yeah. It's a bug in a plastic takeout container.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong with this? Nothing. Nothing goes wrong, right?
Are you okay, my friend? He's tapping the plastic.
Yeah, so
oui, oui.
So yes, you're right. I didn't realize everyone said this is good until I looked today on Rotten Tomatoes, and I was like, wow, this movie's at like a 94.
Yeah.
All the critics seem to love it.
Is it because only 9 people reviewed it?
Maybe.
I'm just curious.
Maybe.
I'm not saying this is a bad movie.
I'll say
This is.
I'll say it. I did not like this movie.
I did not think this was a bad movie, but this movie I didn't really like.
No, I didn't like it at all.
And it's not because it's creepy and I hate spiders. They used a lot of real huntsman spiders in this movie. And the huntsman spider is the reason why I will not move to Australia. Because they could just be in your kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shit, there's one.
You talked about that when we reviewed Wolf Man. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The huntsman spider. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm not a fan of spiders, but that's not why I didn't like this movie. I didn't like this movie for a lot of reasons. I found the characters to be kind of, they try to do some stuff with them having a heart and having a backstory. And I applaud them for that because they didn't do a bad job at that. I just didn't really care so much.
I don't know. I thought that stuff, it felt a little hollow to me, and maybe that
some of it did for sure.
I didn't care about it
when he's arguing with like the sister's boyfriend or the other guy that comes over, and there's there's a lot of stuff I just didn't quite agree with.
And to say it again, I mean, you meet the protagonist right away, and I have every reason to dig this kid from the beginning. He seems like a good kid. He does have heart, and you're like, I'm okay if you make a bad decision, especially if that's going to be the first domino that gets pushed. Like, let's get into this movie. Let's do it.
Sure.
But he so consistently screws the pooch. I'm like, somebody fucking put this kid down. Tell him, you in the back seat. Now, somebody else take the wheel.
Listen, daddy needs to take over here.
Yeah.
Okay?
Wow. Could you be fucking us anymore?
Yeah. I mean, how many legs would I give this movie?
How many hairy legs?
How many hairy legs would I give this movie? I love what you said in the opening there. You haven't seen this many hairy legs since the Moulin Rouge? Is that what it was? Yeah, that's pretty good. This is a 6.
Yeah. 3.
6 legs.
3 hairy legs from me.
Wow.
Yeah.
You pulled 5 legs off a spider and watched it struggle.
Number one, I would never do that. I don't actually have a problem with spiders, to be honest with you, unless I see something terrible and venomous, or if it was something like a fucking tarantula or something giant. That's got to go.
Yeah.
Typically, my rule with the spider is I'll just let it live wherever it wants, unless it's in the shower. If you're close to my nakedness, you've got to die. Nobody wants a spider in the shower, or you lift the toilet seat up and there's a spider there. Also, that's not
when I visited your house, there was a spider the size of a 50-cent piece that was in the toilet bathroom.
That's
in the bathroom near the toilet.
That's right.
I was like, get the fuck out of here. And then I was like, I'm going to kill that thing. I went back, couldn't find it.
Yeah.
I'm like, motherfucker.
That's all right.
I mean, there's a lot of moments like that in this movie. And it's got the creep factor for sure. And, let's wait for the spoilers to get into that kind of stuff. I only watched it once, but I was also pressed for time.
Yeah. Well, I watched it twice, and I don't know that it does a good job with the creep factor in it. I think if you are spider-averse, right? Yes.
Which I am.
This movie could get to you, could make your skin crawl. It could give you the jeebies-heebies,
Yeah.
But
Arachnophobia is a better film.
It is.
Kingdom of the Spiders with William Shatner is a better film.
Oh, my God. I've never seen that one, but I feel as if I'm missing out. Kingdom of the Spiders, you say?
I'm there.
No.
At the moment. The spiders, they're everywhere.
They've got 8 legs, but I've got 1 boot.
That's pretty good. It's a pretty good Shatner.
Thanks.
I don't even want to compete with it. You do Shatner, and I'll do fucking
Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Spiders. Oh,
Chris,
don't want them on
Chris, hold on.
They're near my foot.
Don't go in there.
I'm gonna stomp on them.
Well, if it makes you feel better, stomp away.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't know. This movie, like I said, 3, it didn't do it for me. I fell out of love with
That's the worst rated film so far you've given.
No, Halloween Season of the Witch I gave 2.5.
Oh, but come on. You like this movie better than Halloween Season of the Witch?
It's close.
You go straight to hell.
It's close. I mean, it's close. Listen, Tyler's been giving us a lot of shit about they're going to give it a 9 again. So the fact that I gave Wreck a 9, I can tell already, I can feel his hackles getting raised from across the country. They did it again.
I figured.
Yeah. But that's not true, man, because the last couple, Child's Play, I was hard on. Wolf. Man, I was hard on.
Also hard on. Yeah.
This one.
I don't have a hard on for Wolf.
Again.
Man.
Mike, why do you keep talking about your hard on?
Oh, I gotta say, this movie, for me, isn't very good.
A boner? You have a boner right now.
No. I don't know what you're looking at.
What are we talking
It was a banana craft service.
Well,
I had no place to put it except in my pocket.
I guess it's got appeal, then.
I put this uncomfortable banana up my ass. For 5 long years, I had this banana up my ass.
That's a excellent source of potassium. But so this movie, 3, for numerous reasons. I was surprised to learn that they used over 200 real spiders in this.
Which is gross.
Yeah, no, it is gross. I think that would definitely freak me out. But the thing is, when I saw the movie, I still thought a lot of the time the spiders, I don't think that they look necessarily fake. It's not like the CGI is glaringly bad.
No,
but a lot of times it didn't feel real to me. I didn't get a visceral reaction from them.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the lobby.
Head to the lobby? We'll figure it out when we come back?
Yeah. In the lobby, they're going to have some popcorn. There's something in there for us to snack on, maybe. Besides this banana.
I'd stay away from the banana. All right, let's go, come back, and then we will spoil everything about Infested. It smells like rotten fromage.
This is a stinky feet.
All right, we'll be right back.
4 minutes till showtime.
Hey, fellas, don't fight over that hot dog. There's plenty for everyone. Big, plump, and juicy, wrapped in an oven-fresh bun. Add mustard, relish, ketchup, and go to work. Yes, the hot dogs at our refreshment center are the best you'll find anywhere. Everybody agrees on that.
Welcome back from the lobby. We were talking to each other in there about a couple of things and decided we should share it with the rest of you. Didn't we, Bill?
I think I'd rather watch reruns of T.J. Hooker, the whole entire series, than see this fucking movie even one more time. It was...
T.J. Hooker, it's a good film. Good show. A lot of residuals in that one for you.
Not as many as there should have been.
We'll do a cooking show, maybe. It's true. Christopher Walken wanted to do a cooking show.
Yeah,
you know that?
Yeah, I do know that. I
In fact, I'm pretty sure there's a pilot.
Yeah,
for it.
yeah. I've seen episodes get the chicken. He's making a roast chicken.
Yeah,
tying it up and stuff. Yeah, that is pretty classic. That's a good one.
Puss in Boots. It's a cat with a hat. Got a sword.
If we did Walken and Shatner, it would take us 7 hours to get through.
To get through this episode?
Yeah.
We better hurry it up.
Yeah. Infested.
Yeah.
Sebastian Vanacek, I think, wrote and directed this. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Again, another written and directed by, which has been very successful in a lot of ways.
So this one, like Smile 2, which we recently reviewed, where is a movie which
we
I
didn't like, Tyler.
Actively disliked. And then I looked at the reviews on it, and I'm like, wow, I'm really on an island in this one. Same thing with Infested. I disliked it so much, and then I couldn't believe when I looked on Rotten Tomatoes.
95%.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes. But the popcorn meter by the people, it's only at 62%. So I feel like all the reviewers that watched it, I don't know.
And then maybe reading too much into it.
Now, there's only 66 reviews, by the way.
There might have been higher aspirations. I think the Sebastian Vanacek was trying to make like a cultural statement with this movie as well.
Absolutely. He's trying to say a lot about cultural racism in France in certain neighborhoods.
Class
and
struggle.
how people are looked down upon.
Yeah. How spiders are essentially harmless, although they're not in this movie, but we tend to treat spiders a certain way just because we don't like the way that they look and we don't like the way that they move. And so even though they're kind of innocuous, you don't want them in the same room with you. And that could parallel racist feelings or things like that. But I do not
And we know that France has a lot of issues with that.
Oh, oui. It sure does.
Oh, my friend.
But I don't think that comes through at all. It's just, to me, a movie about an apartment building that gets infested with highly venomous spiders and quarantined, just like why we paired it with Wreck.
These are international films where you must escape from the apartment building.
And I hate the way the spiders work in this, and the explanation that they give is such horseshit. I mean, like, it's so dumb, I feel like they should have gone dumber, and then I would have dug it more. So the movie opens somewhere in the Middle East, like Syria or something. The ground's all rocky, and a bunch of dudes are looking for the spiders, prying up rocks.
Yeah, and I didn't understand. The first thing I thought of is, are they going to do some kind of terrorist thing with these spiders? Because that's what it felt like. They're looking for a weapon. They're trying to poison it, and then they're killing that one dude when he gets the spider on him. Like, okay, well, sorry, I guess you got to die.
Yeah.
So, like they're looking for it for some sort of illicit reason. And then I guess it just gets sold on the black market, and that's all it really was? That just didn't make any sense to me.
No, it doesn't make any sense at all, especially the way the spider will end up reacting. It was like, how is this thing so gnarly? And we'll get into it in a second, because, they gas it, they trap a bunch of them, one guy gets bit, and then they have to give him the old Sinkaya from Dead Alive. Like, they chop him up, they chop his head off with a machete. I mean, they don't show that, but, like, I guess that was a mercy killing, because he's not going to recover from it.
Because he's screaming and rolling around, and I guess the spider is so venomous that it's like a painful death, I guess.
Yeah.
And by the way, just so you know, this has, like you said, a 95 on Rotten Tomatoes. You know what movies are ranked lower than this movie?
Oh, please tell me.
Companion.
Oh, come on. That movie's...
Heretic. The Brutalist.
Well, I didn't
Halloween
see the
3, Season of the Witch.
Well, now I believe this. They're not all outlandish then. So then cut to, we're in France, and we got our hero, Caleb, young guy, and he's in like a bodega or something, essentially.
Yeah.
And he's telling the guy, Ali, behind the counter, hey, you got to give me the good stuff. Takes him behind there so he can get a pair of sneakers. Presumably they like fell off the truck somewhere, right? Because Caleb is supplying like rare Nikes and trainers and basketball shoes to the kids in the projects there.
He'd be the guy you buy original Air Jordans from. Yeah.
But he also sees when he's back there like some exotic species, and you learn right away like, oh no, he's into it. He says something about wanting to open a reptile zoo, like, okay, hey, dream big. That's cool. That's an unusual unusual
This guy's got more shit in his back room than fucking Dick Miller had in his bookshop.
It's something else. And there's a lot of weird
I'm pretty sure he's got a jar of dog embryos.
That came directly from Dick Miller's bookshop in the Howling.
Some Eye of Newt. Gotta be in there, for sure.
So he finds this spider. Ooh, what's this? Look at that. The guy says, yeah, sure. I'll sell that to you and the shoes for 100 euros or something like that.
Yeah. He gets some jewelry as well, right?
Yeah.
Some special earrings for his girlfriend.
Yeah, or for someone, right? Like, okay, he's buying all this stuff. He seems like a good kid. Goes back to the projects there, the apartment building.
Yeah.
And some of the kids that are just hanging out there end up throwing some fireworks at the Chinese super, like the lady who's cleaning up the lobby because it's dirty. And these kids are harassing her with fireworks, and he sticks up for her. You know, come on. And he yells at the kids, and they confiscate the fireworks and all that stuff. And you're like, oh, okay, our boy's got a good heart.
Yeah.
You know, he's trying
kind of a nice guy. Sure.
Trying to do the right thing. And then you go upstairs and you meet his sister who's doing renovations to their bathroom. This is when
with
we
a
learn.
jackhammer.
Yeah. I thought, I don't know how the apartment system works in France, but I'm pretty sure when I lived in Manhattan, if I had just decided to like bust through the bathroom wall with a jackhammer or a sledgehammer.
It totally looked like a jackhammer she's taking tiles off the wall with. I was like, whoa, what is going on here? Those tiles actually look fine. Why are you taking them out?
Yeah, but we learned, I think, that, you know, not everything is working, and she had to turn the power off, which he is not happy about because he opens the door to his room and, Jesus, he's got like snakes and lizards and centipedes and all sorts of weird shit in terrariums and aquariums.
Yeah,
and
he does have an exotic zoo.
He does. Okay, it's, you know, it's a weird hobby, but it's all right. And so he tells the spider, hey, I'll get you a nice place soon enough. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And before this, he had found the shoes, went to his little special spot where he's got all the shoes.
Oh, that's
pulled down
right.
a box because he's got to give a box to TN, right?
Yeah.
Who's ordered some special shoes.
TN are the kinds of shoes.
Yeah, but they call the guy TN.
Oh, that's right. They do call him TN.
Why do you think they call me TN? Because I always wear TNs. And I was like, I guess I got to look up what a TN shoe is because I don't know. It's just a tennis shoe.
It's Nike Air Max Plus, but TN comes from tuned air technology that comes in there.
Are you speaking English? I can't even understand.
Oui. It's actually, it means Nike Air Max, and it's the tuned air technology that's in there, and that is why they call it the TN.
I wear Durango boots. It's what a man wears. Anyway. So, yeah, he
keep going, Durango.
Yeah. He had found this box, and it had gotten wet, and there was a hole in the corner. He was all mad because he wants his buddy. What's his buddy's name?
Matthias?
Is that the guy that does like
MMA?
MMA? Yeah. So he wants him to get me a new box. I'm thinking, why the fuck do you need a new box to give someone the tennis shoes? They're going to throw the box away. So then that's just the trope to get this box to his room so that he can take the tennis shoes out, knowing that he's going to replace them in a new box. And then he takes the spider and puts it in a box with a hole in it. I'm like, come on, dude. Yeah. Have you not seen any movies?
He makes bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. And I can be cool with that in a movie, but soon the stakes will become life and death. And he will be with a group of people. And I wonder, again, why they don't just fucking slap the keys out of his hand. Like, stop it. You need to fucking chill out, Caleb.
Yeah.
Take a back seat.
Totally.
Yeah. So we find out that he's at odds with his sister, but there's a party at Claudia's tonight. And they go up.
His sister's a bit of a bitch, to be honest.
Well, I don't know if it's a question about, like, you know, certainly something has happened since mom has died, and it has put a strain on their relationship. And he's
everybody
like,
deals with grief in a different way.
You can't do the renos on this apartment. It's got too many memories of mom. And she's like, this place is a fucking dump, and we need to do something so we can sell it. And he doesn't want to sell it, and yada yada. Family drama. Okay.
I don't think they're going to be able to sell it for much anyway, because this is a shitty building, right?
And it's only getting worse.
You're not selling an apartment in this building for a lot of money, okay? This is District B13 right out of the gate, except nobody's doing parkour.
Yeah. The price of this building is about to go way down, too.
Yeah.
because our boy put a spider in a shoebox, a highly poisonous Middle Eastern spider.
A shoebox with a giant fucking hole in the corner.
Jesus Christ. So, yeah.
Here, you'll be fine in here.
But they go up to the party at Claudia's, and you find out, Claudia's an older lady, and she was a friend of their mom, and the jewelry that he bought was for this lady. And you keep thinking, like, this kid is like a really nice guy. And then they cut to the spider escaping through the hole in the shoebox, and you're like, you got a good heart, but you are am I getting the feeling that you're a fucking idiot? It is a feeling that will keep coming back throughout this movie.
Yeah.
Notices when he comes home, sticks his finger through the hole, like, who would have thought? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Mark Wahlberg.
There was a big hole in the box that you noticed earlier, and that's why you didn't want to give the shoes in the box, because instead you just wanted to put a venomous spider in it.
Yeah. And then
that tracks.
He searches for it, and he doesn't find it, but in one of his, like, shadow boxes with butterflies, he finds, like, an egg sac or a cocoon. You're like,
yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
That was fast.
Bad to worse. Yeah, that was fast is going to be one of
the motto
of
this movie
problems I have with this movie, because as we get infested, these things have babies and multiply so quickly. And every generation that comes out, it seems like the spiders are bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's like through the course of maybe 24, 36 hours, something like that.
Maybe.
And you
I was
going
to say 12 hours.
Well, he does go to sleep here because he's on the, he can't find it in his room.
And I remember seeing them go to sleep and thinking, why are you fucking going to sleep?
I mean, storytelling-wise, I almost don't know, because the spider doesn't seem to have any problem just, like, reproducing and getting bigger. And I think it's like the power goes off again, so the spider... Like, it's not supposed to be able to survive in the cold, but it does. And they hook into this idea of like evolution. The spider is evolving every time to its circumstances. And they say a couple times like, it's doing that Darwin thing again.
Yeah.
And
I love that that's how they explained it.
Yeah.
Because he gets that from the internet, that Darwin thing.
That Darwin thing. And I was like, listen, evolution is real, and this is not how it works.
Yeah.
It made me mad because I thought somebody who doesn't believe in evolution is going to watch this movie, and it's just going to be proof to them like, see? That's why evolution don't make no sense. Because look at how fast, why don't spiders do that? But they don't do that because it's not God's plan. I hate this excuse. And like I had said, I wish that they had been like, some sort of dirty bomb went off in Syria and irradiated the spiders, or a meteor. Like, I would have gone with any Marvel comic explanation for why this is happening. If that
maybe
was
the spider came from space. Maybe it's the spider that is it in the end of it, and this is a baby spider.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I would have been cool
but no,
with that.
This is just a poisonous desert spider that reproduces in fucking minutes.
Yeah.
Within an hour, it's had an egg sac, which bursts into 100 babies, and then those 100 babies probably have egg sacs within an hour. It's just way out of control.
Yeah. And the next morning, we'll meet some of the new characters, right? So Leela comes over with Jordy. Jordy, who was Caleb's old friend, but they're not talking to each other anymore, and you're not exactly sure why. Later on in the movie, you'll find out it's because as kids, they wanted to start their own reptile zoo together. Mm-hmm. And they swore they would do it. And then Caleb had a pet iguana, and it bit Jordy, and it got infected. And then Jordy reported it to the cops, so he ratted him out. Yeah. And then Caleb never went to the hospital. And this is literally the explanation they give in the movie. And I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Yeah. What fucking fourth grader wrote this story?
I tuned out of that part because I was like, this is dumb. Let's just get to... I just want to see a fake head. I just want to see an E.G. Marshall-like head with a shitload of spiders crawling out of it. And they're only going to show you something like that from the side, and it's not really going to be good.
It's not good. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, they just kept missing the boat on tension where, like,
Yeah.
The spider's going to bite their hand. I think of that scene, I think, in Arachnophobia, right, where the person goes and they turn on the lamp.
Yeah.
And then as their hand is up there, the light comes on and you see the silhouette of the spider in the lamp.
Sure.
Those are the moments I really wanted to see in this. That like little surprise of uncomfortable, like, oh, don't stick your hand in there. Like, oh, watch out. Or, like you said, the E.G. Marshall.
Yeah.
The spiders are coming out the fucking nose or something.
Yeah, we're talking about Creepshow. For those of you that don't get the E.G. Marshall reference, Mom.
Yeah.
It's a movie from 1982, Creepshow. And yeah, there's a guy who's super fucking crazy about roaches, and at one point you see his dead body laying there and all the roaches come pouring out of him. It's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
There isn't that moment in this, and there should have been.
I'm going to keep going on that because I like talking about Creepshow. Infested, schminfested. But that moment in Creepshow, I saw too young. That one fucked me up too. The roaches coming out of him. Between that and...
Was that my fault as well?
No. You told me about it, but I saw that at somebody else's house, so that wasn't seeing it, which is what really did it to me. It was super gross.
I would have shown it to you had you asked.
But between that...
That sounds creepy, by the way.
Between that and the what Paul Winfield getting eaten in the car in Damnation Alley by the radioactive cockroaches.
Yeah, radioactive roaches, yeah.
That one and Creepshow... Yeah, cockroaches. No me gusta. I did not.
I mean, cockroaches are fucking gross. And we've all lived in an apartment with too many of them at one point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, they missed the mark by not having some cool moment like that. And there's that moment where they go in and they find the nice old lady and she's on the couch or on her chair and the TV set is playing and the apartment's dark and you see webs here and there and you just know that she's got spiders in her shirt or something. And that's kind of all it is. Like, I don't remember, does one crawl out of her mouth?
I think you see her head kind of twitch a little bit and then you see spiders. I don't know. You don't really see them come out of her mouth. You just see, like, from the side, they kind of swarm around her head or something, and they freak out and they leave, and they're like, spiders came out of her head. But you don't really get it. You don't really see it. So the horrifying moment for me doesn't really land in that.
Yeah, and like we said, they use 200 real huntsman spiders, and then they enhance them with VFX to make them appear bigger for a lot of different sequences. Now, the huntsman is already a big spider, and they can come as big as your fucking hand, which, again, a reason why I won't go live in Mad Max world.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I understand the huntsman's actually kind of a delicate spider. If you hit it, like, its legs can snap off pretty easily and stuff like that.
I mean, you're just grossing me out right
now. Not exactly points for the huntsman there.
No.
That spider has gotten out. And
turned into about 1,000 spiders.
Well, first, right, it's crawled in the shoe. It's crawled into the TNs, and TN is like, where's my shoe? So he fucking gets him the new box, and he gives them to that guy, who instantly just throws the box on the ground. So
because he doesn't care.
Yeah, and then he goes to put the shoe on, and, there's something in there, and dumps out a spider. Oh, shit. And smashes it, I think, with the shoe.
Yeah, he does.
And then he's looking at it, and that's when 100 baby spiders come
pouring out.
Yeah. And he's going to have some problems. And then the pit bull eats the smashed spider, right?
Yeah, which I didn't quite understand.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that pit bull lives and is fine, right?
No. It will be dead later, and then you will see a spider crawl out of its fucking body.
I might not have watched that part. Don't kill the dog.
Yeah, what is this, a Stephen King film?
Yeah, come on now. God damn you.
Yeah, so TN, after that encounter with the spider, he doesn't die right away. He's just breaking out into boils.
Yeah.
And he's trying to he keeps calling our boy Caleb. Caleb's phone is like blowing up as he's having a conversation with some other people, and he's not picking up. And I thought, hey, TN, maybe 911 instead of calling the guy who sold you the shoes. Maybe call a doctor. That shit looks like it's terrible. It must hurt. Perhaps it burns and it's spreading across your arm. So don't call the shoe salesman. Don't call the shoe salesman. Call the doctor, for goodness sake. But he is a mess, and he will die. And then TN's dog won't stop barking. right? And the neighbors get all concerned, and they're all trying to figure out, like, oh, what should we do? And then the pushy...
I got a feeling that dog barking is a common thing in that house.
It's a fucking
apartment.
Pit bull, like... Yeah. But no, they decide they're going to break in, and the pushy neighbor breaks down the door. An emergency crew is called. Everyone wants to know what's going on, but no one can leave at this point. So the emergency crew has gotten wind that this spider is now infecting the whole building. Because this thing it's spreading so fast. I don't get it.
I didn't quite understand why this suddenly became a biohazard issue where they're locking down the building and they're telling the people that they can't leave. Like, that part didn't make 100% sense to me.
Yeah.
And that cop is a dick, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is where that whole, racism of living in the projects comes into play, and the cops, honestly think everyone in this building is a shithead.
All the cops are dicks in this. And what's also kind of crazy is that later in the movie, when, again, it all happens so fast, like all of a sudden the cleaning lady's cleaning stuff and there's webs everywhere, and she's popping up the dropped ceiling, and spiders are crawling everywhere. They'll squash one spider once, and then it's brooding, which is, there's some YouTube videos of that shit for real. That's terrifying, where they hit the big spider and they realize like there were 100 baby spiders attached to its back, and they all just fucking scatter everywhere.
Yeah, that's YouTube videos I will not look up. Yeah. That and parasites crawling out of your flesh. Again, something I'm not interested in.
No thanks. No thanks. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's all happening so fast. And the cops, at one point, the kids are trying to get out of this place, and the cops come in and they have this altercation. This is quite a ways down the movie. And the cops treat the kids like they've been bitten by zombies.
Yeah.
They're not like, where are the spiders at? Are there any spiders around? And like preparing for all that. Yeah. They've got guns when they should have like a fucking flamethrower or something. Yeah. They've got guns, and then it's like, who got bit? Have you gotten bit? And I was like, why are you treating them like they're about to turn into spiders or some shit? Like, that's not how this works.
Which, honestly, would have been cool.
Yeah, okay, sure. But it's also
I'll watch that movie.
It's during that little altercation where Caleb takes a swing at a cop. And it's like, why did you make that choice? Gets his ass kicked and zip-tied, and the cops, like, mace all the friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just one more example of our boy just screwing the pooch repeatedly, as he does. But you get, like, a couple of other moments where, like, earlier on, where you see Caleb has a good heart. Like, when they find the spider in the apartment, or what he thinks is the spider, the sister's like, kill it, kill it. She's in the shower, I think. Like, not taking a shower. She's just hiding
She's
in the shower.
The bathroom. Yeah, exactly.
And Caleb and his friend Jordy are trying to, like...
not kill it.
Yeah. Trying to secure it. I think eventually that's the one they do squish, and they find out it was brooding, so it just scatters everywhere, which is so gross.
And that's when they shut the door and put tape around all the edges and stuffing things under it and more tape, and they're trying to seal off the room. And I'm thinking, just leave.
Yeah.
Just go. Don't stay in there. Go.
Yeah. It's a bunch of nope. Right? Like, you see memes all the time where people are like, I found the spider in my house, what should I do? And people jokingly are like, burn the house down. Yeah. This is legitimately one of those things. Like, no, that's...
Absolutely.
Yeah, after that moment where they find that spider and it broods everywhere or whatever, they go back into his room with all the exotic species in it. And he's like, oh, yeah, I noticed this spider, it got out the hole, and all I found was the cocoon. And my friends are like, the cocoon? Yeah. Like, what'd you do with the cocoon? He's like, I put it in a shoebox under my bed. And they're like, oh, can we see it? And they fucking open the shoebox. And of course, it's crawling with spiders. They fucking close it. And they tape it all up. And I'm like, idiot. You're a fucking idiot.
This is the shoebox with a big giant hole in it.
Yeah, this isn't that one, though. This is a different shoebox.
Was this a new one?
Yeah, this is a different one, which they shut and they just tape it up, right? Because later on, when that asshole who's sort of like, I don't know if he's an off-duty cop or whatever.
That whole subplot was stupid.
Oh, it is.
With that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shows up at one point. He's like, "You're selling drugs, aren't you? You're selling drugs. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking get you." Like one of those. And he's just the dickhead that lives in the building that just assumes the kid's selling drugs.
Yeah,
you're right. That guy gets what's coming to him for sure.
He does. And he is a very two-dimensional sort of villain type in this, who's just jumping to conclusions about these kids selling drugs and everything. And you're right. He gets what he deserves.
Again, it's that whole class system struggle, racism in fucking France.
Yeah, and it's right about this time in my notes that they're having more and more encounters with these spiders. And I wrote in big capital letters, "These spiders are big, exclamation point, question mark, how, question mark." And then a little bit later I have Darwin. Oh, shit.
Darwin, question mark, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
P.S. I don't think that's how this works.
God. Stairwells are covered in spiders. They're in the walls. Because at one point, I think he goes to squish one and he kicks through the drywall. And
yeah, that friend of his.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, as you do, you're like, oh, the hole in the drywall, and there's spiders everywhere.
Let me stick my head in there.
Stick my head in there.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. What is that? That looks weird. Let me get closer. a lot of dumb shit. People doing dumb shit.
At this point, the spiders have just gotten everywhere. And there's the cut to like an old man in his apartment. And he's got like 30 glasses on the ground.
Yeah, I did like that shot.
Spider trapped on everyone.
Because you just know that guy's been spending hours. Oh, there's a spider. I'll put it under a glass. Got it. And there's another one. And there's another one. Yeah.
Yeah, at some point you got to trade the glass for the boot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the sandal. Like, okay.
Yeah.
No more.
Yeah.
I've run out of glasses here at this point. I've successfely rescued 30 of these. Like, great. Yeah. Just start squashing them, dude.
What now? And he goes out into the hallway at one point because he's sick, because he's been bitten, and they're like a dick to him. Like, get away from us. Get away from us. Go back in your room. Go back in your room. Go back in there. And that's when he goes back in, and I think they cut back to him like a few minutes later, and he's dying against the wall because he's obviously been poisoned. And that's when you see like the 30 fucking glasses with spiders underneath them.
Yeah.
But you're right. Trade the glasses for the fucking boot.
You know, they're trying now to get out of this place because it's totally fucked. They're like, we gotta go. And they're gonna get to the parking garage, right? They're like, we just gotta get to the parking garage.
Because that's the only way they're gonna be able to get out because the front door's locked now. By the cops.
Yeah,
I guess.
They have locked this place down, and I think Leela was like, oh, my car is in the parking garage. If we can just get there, we can get out of there.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if the cops lock the building down, they're going to shut the parking garage door, and they're not going to let people open it.
They make a lot of bad plans.
I'm just stabbing in the dark here.
Yeah. Yeah, but they've got to pass through this hallway, which is essentially like a webby tube of arachnids. You know, at this point, there's webs everywhere. There's thousands of spiders everywhere.
Yeah. This is one of those camera zooms down the hallway, and we hear this.
Yeah. And we've also seen a convention numerous times of, like in Heretic, the light is on a timer, right? Yeah. And so they got to keep cranking it.
I did like the light timer.
Okay, we're going to have to go through here, and they're kind of learning that the arachnids are sensitive to light. Like, they will stop if you shine a light on them, but if the lights go out, then they all crawl everywhere, which I'm not
Didn't make a ton of sense to me.
If that is.
Maybe it's true. I'm going to try it next time I see a big spider in my house.
I do know that a jumping spider will react to a laser light, like a laser pointer or whatever.
Will it jump towards it?
It will move towards it, yes.
Oh, so if I had a jumping spider in my house, I could lead it out the door with a laser. Yeah. Or I could just stomp on it.
Just stomp on it.
Okay. Just clearing the air here and make sure
Jumping
that was an
spiders
option.
are cute, though.
No, I don't think so.
I'm going to post some cute jumping spider pictures on our Instagram.
You're not.
Yeah. But what's funny is they get to this tube of arachnids, and she's like, I'm going to hold the light. And they get there, and every single one of these kids is wearing a hoodie, and they all put their hoods up. And I thought, now you're putting your hood up?
Yeah.
If I was in this building, that hood would have been up like 2 hours ago. I would have been like
tight to your face as you can get it.
I'd be wearing gloves. My pants would be stuck in my boots. Full balaclava, ski goggles on. Like, there's no way. There is no way.
Yep. Pants
I wouldn't
in the boots.
be all covered up. Yeah. Yeah, so they make it to the end of the hallway, and that's where, like, the door's being held from the other side. And it's the cops holding the door, like, not letting them out. So essentially they go through all this to get to the side, and then the cops start throwing tear gas in there. The timer goes off. They got to go back down the hallway.
Got to run past through all the webs and the spiders. And how did they not get completely covered like fucking Indiana Jones in the beginning of Raiders? I don't get it.
Right. Well, one of them does, because Geordie doesn't make it through, and they're like,
all the spiders went to Geordie.
Where's Geordie? Where's Geordie? And they peek back into the hallway, and he's covered with spiders, and they've got to let him go, and it gets very dramatic, and they're having this big heartfelt moment where everyone's wailing and crying, and
and like a conversation from like one room to the other.
And I hate to say, like, I just didn't care.
Yeah.
I didn't
Again,
really care about the relationship.
To make us really, really feel for all these people and show how human they are. But yeah,
it was falling short.
I didn't really care all that much.
We saw at this point too, I think it was the Chinese lady, Mrs. Zhao. I'm not sure, but someone was stuck to the ceiling with webs.
Yeah, how does that happen?
I don't know, because they're not. I mean, the spiders are getting bigger now, and now they do look like huntsman spiders, but even bigger than regular ones, so that they're monsters.
Yeah, there's a couple that are like a foot.
It's not like they could drag a corpse up to the ceiling or anything.
Yeah. When I saw that, I wasn't sure exactly what I was seeing.
Yeah,
I was like,
seemed to be getting really out of whack at this point.
Yeah.
It's just like, there's no rhyme or reason.
We're going to tie a man to the ceiling, and we're going to cover him with webs. Everyone will believe. Everyone will believe.
This is when we get that scene you were talking about earlier, too, where it's in the dark, and they're all freaking out.
Yeah, which is good. I like the light stuff. I like the in the dark bit. There's a couple of moments that are creepy, but they missed the mark on a lot of shit. So I don't hate this movie, but it's not something I'm going to actively seek out to watch again. I will watch Arachnophobia. I will watch Kingdom of the Spiders.
Yeah, I was bemoaning the fact as I was watching this that we didn't choose to pair Wreck with Arachnophobia, but there's no reason to pair those two movies.
No, there's absolutely no reason. We'll pair Arachnophobia with something else someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also in this moment where somebody says, yeah, this makes no sense. And I thought, correct. Like, I wrote that. That is a line from the movie. Yeah. This makes no sense. And
you're like,
yes,
you
nailed
hit the nail on the head. Yeah.
So how are they going to get out now? Much like Wreck, they're trying every exit they can.
Sure.
We've got flares and fireworks because they got the confiscated fireworks that the kids were tormenting the super with earlier. Let's get to the roof. So they try and get to the roof. The spiders are bigger now. And that's when they kind of discover they're light sensitive, and so they can sort of keep them paused while the light is on them.
But he doesn't have a real flashlight. He's just got that one you got to wind up.
Crank flashlight. Yeah. I did kind of like that bit where he's just like frantically trying to crank the flashlight and keep them at bay.
Yeah, I mean, that was clever. There's a few clever things in here that involve light. Other than that, this movie is light on scares.
But
see what I did there?
I was saying at the beginning, if you're spider-averse, this movie might be like, I can't deal with it, I can't handle it at all, if you've got a fear of them. But if you don't, I find it really kind of lame.
Yeah, but even me being somewhat spider-averse, it didn't really bother me. Like, I was expecting this movie to really fuck with me and creep me out and make me look in every corner of the room before turning the lights out, but it didn't. I was just kind of like, all right, what next?
Yeah, it's just lame. I think at this point in the movie, too, I'm kind of getting over it. They have that altercation with the cops we talked about earlier, where the cops, they almost treat them like they've been bitten by zombies. And when they wake up, they're in that parking garage.
Yeah, and they're all fucking like zip tied.
Yeah, and the cops have got guns and they're spraying poison, right?
Well, they're freezing them, right? With like CO2.
Oh, is that what it is? Is it CO2? Freezing them? Okay.
Pretty sure that's what they were doing.
I wasn't sure if it was
them and
spray
then, like,
poison or
picking them up. I mean, that's the impression I got.
But yeah, they wake up in the parking garage, and they won't let the people that are trapped inside the building out. And it's unacceptable to our hero kids. So Matthias is like, I'm going to get everybody out. I'm going to bum rush the door. I'm going to blow it open so that people can have a way to get out of this place infected with the spiders. And I just thought, could you please leave it to the cops who have the guns and the poison or the CO2 or what? The people that are there with the stuff that can maybe take care of this. But no, instead he bum rushes the door and he lets all the fucking spiders into the parking garage.
So that the 12 cops can start shooting at them.
Yeah, with like handguns. Like, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah, that was
stupid.
Dumb.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
I might change my rating to a 5.
Listen, Caleb and Lila, he's like, Lila, go get your car. I'm going to get my sister who's trapped there. Caleb gets winged in the leg, shot. They have to hide in a van.
Because these cops are doing that whole thing where they're all standing in a circle shooting.
Yes.
They're just firing bullets everywhere.
Yeah.
Ricochets
in a closed parking garage, stone pillars and walls everywhere. And
thousands of spiders the size of your hand. And they're just emptying pistols and machine guns and all these. It's just, what? What are you doing? Yeah.
So they managed to get to Lila's car. She's honking her lights, or flashing her lights and honking her horn. They make their way through the firefight. Cops are just getting taken out by spiders. They're crawling in their helmets. It's just like pandemonium in here.
Yeah.
They get in the car. One of the wheels gets shot out. Sparks are flying. She's going through the parking garage. She is driving it like it's stolen. Get the fuck out of here. And they get to the parking garage and the door is down. Right? It's like, oh, of course the door is down. So Caleb's like,
why would the door be open?
I'll get the door. So he gets out there, and then you see this big spider in the headlights, and it is like frozen in the headlights. And as they're sitting there waiting,
this is a 4-foot mist spider, which they could have just run over with the car.
Yes, they could have just fucking run it over.
But no, stop the car 15 feet away from the door. You get out. I'll keep the light on. We'll freeze the spider, but then turn the light off so it'll leave the front of the car. Why? Why not just open the door and then run it over?
I don't know, because they wanted Caleb to have some sort of moment with this spider where, I don't know, all was forgiven, or they recognize the outsider in each other, or whatever the fuck it was. I think, that's what I'm saying. I think they wanted to have some sort of higher purpose to this infestation movie, and it just felt dumb. And I really didn't like Caleb at this point because I just thought he keeps making bad decisions.
You're like, please, spider, tear Caleb's head off.
So he opens the door and he steps outside into the sunlight, and then we just flash forward to Caleb is in. I guess they've all escaped.
A month later.
Yeah, he's burying a shoebox with a picture of him and Jordy, his friend he was going to open the reptile zoo with. And a little spider lands on his shoulder, or crawls on his shoulder, and Caleb takes it off and blows it off the log or something like that.
Don't touch any more spiders.
Yeah, no kidding. You would think after that experience...
that building was fucking overrun. That entire neighborhood, wherever the fuck they are... France is about to be overrun in a matter of days.
Yeah, because these things reproduce in an hour and a half.
Yeah, it just stops. It's like, that's done. So what, spider building is clean now? It's fine. They didn't tear it down. There's that pullback showing the building. Now, you want to talk cool pullback, fucking Kingdom of the Spiders. At the end of the movie, fucking camera pulls back to show that the entire town is encased in a web.
Oh, hey. All right.
Now that's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Sure. William Shatner, entire town, cased in a web.
How are we going to get out? Looks like we'll be stuck here for a while.
Bill, all you got to do is stomp on them. They go pretty easy.
No, looks like I've got the wrong pair of boots for this job.
That's so good.
Better lace them up. Yeah, again, you could have run over the spider with your fucking car.
Yeah.
You get your car, you get all the windows up, and you just keep driving around the parking garage. The cops are shooting the spiders with guns. Get in a cop car and just start wading through them or something. There are better tools for the job. The kids
none of that makes
aren't
sense.
Covering up, you know.
I might give it a 4.
This movie sucks. I'm sorry. And again, it's so critically acclaimed.
It is. I don't understand why.
I don't either.
No offense against the people that like this movie. I just didn't get it. Didn't land for me. I understand what they're trying to do. I understand that it's got a creep factor to it, but in the end, just kind of dumb and not as creepy as it should have been.
And if you are looking for a movie where some kids in the urban underserved neighborhood got to defend their apartment building.
Attack the Block.
Watch Attack the Block. That movie's fucking cool.
It is and it isn't.
The monsters, I remember being a little weird in that movie when
pretty
it gets down
terrible.
To it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
almost like somebody just scribbled on a fucking on the film with a black marker. That's what those monsters reminded me of.
It's better than this, though, by a long shot, I would say.
Sure, because that movie's got some good characters in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you care about them. This one, Caleb. Mm-hmm. And at the end, he's like bearing that picture of his friend Jordy, and I was like, was that the central relationship that we were to be invested in this
because
movie?
I had a much better idea of the relationship with him and Matthias.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Actually, Matthias was like the one character I kind of really dug in this movie.
He's the best character of the movie.
Yeah. He seemed cool.
Tien might have been cool if he had more than 3 scenes.
And I guess Caleb and his sister Manon, they have a moment where they kind of make up with each other in the back of the van when he
during
rescues
the
her.
shootout.
Yeah. And then
it's a nice tender moment during the
giant
shootout.
spiders are like crawling through the window coming at them.
Yeah. Fun apartment movie, Wreck.
Yeah.
Fun apartment building movie, Dread. Great apartment building movie. The Raid.
Yeah.
Great apartment
Here
building
we go.
movie.
There's plenty of them.
District
to choose from.
B13 has a lot of great French apartment building stuff in it.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen that one.
It's produced by Luc Besson.
Oh, une película de Luc Besson?
Oh, si.
No, we
were very... we were mixing all kind of languages there.
Our apologies to the Spanish and French communities.
Yes, please accept our humble apologies. And don't stop listening. And check out our Patreon. Go to the whole damn thing at patreon.com where you can find all kinds of extra stuff that we talked about. And we've even got things over there like movie commentary. We've got a little something like that going on over there.
I think we've already done the Patreon thing this episode.
Yeah, I know. I'm just bringing it up again. Also, you should follow our Instagram. What's the Instagram?
That's the whole damn thing 13. You can find us on Instagram there, sharing funny
Threads
memes.
too. Take that spider web over to the Threads.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good.
You're welcome.
You can infest our TikTok with likes and comments. That would be great.
That would be awesome. Please write a review because if you like this show and you had a couple chuckles and we bring joy into your life, which some people say we do, write a review, please. Yeah. Please write a review. We've got a lot of good reviews out there, but we need more.
No matter where you're listening, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, subscribe, write a review.
iHeartRadio.
It all helps. Podbean or on all the platforms.
Yeah.
Crackle, Snap,
Yeah. Gen Pop.
Yeah. Don't forget to leave a doink on Zipper Fruital.
Yeah. I forget what episode that was, but that was pretty good. Where we made up a whole bunch of social media names that don't even fucking exist. Yeah, that's good. Get on that Discord. Plenty of people in there.
And send us an email. The whole damn thing 13 at gmail.com. We love replying to people.
We do. Let us know if you like our mom.
What? No. Buenos noches.
Ah. Yeah, I don't know what language I should say.
I don't know how to say. Well, what's good night in French?
I don't know. I can ask. How do you say good night in French?
To say good night in French, use bonne nuit. Other options include dormez bien, sleep well, à demain, see you tomorrow, or à bientôt, see you soon. Pronounce bonne nuit as bonne nuit.
Bonne nuit.
Time to wrap up. Thanks for chatting with me about horror movies, jump scares, and language translations.
Okay.
Dreams. And don't let the...
She said sweet dreams and don't let the bed bugs bite?
Oh, man.
Fuck you. What in the fuck? I don't know, man. That's why AI is going to take us out. So stupid.
Well, before AI takes us out, and then Tyler takes us out, we do want to talk about a couple of friends we've made who have their own podcast that is a lot of fun. And if you enjoy us, you're probably going to dig them too. Mike, do you want to tell everybody about them?
Yeah, you want to go over to Spotify and look up I Want to Be in the Sequel podcast. They post every week. I kind of accidentally stumbled across them on Threads and sort of got into a little conversation. I started listening to all their episodes, and I'm like, wow, this rings true with a lot of the same kind of stuff that we do, and it felt like I had an instant connection to it. So I think if you're a fan of us, you're also probably going to be a fan of them. You should totally check it out.
Yeah, it's hosted by Caitlin and Brittany, and they're very funny and obviously huge fans and really like to get into the movies and have a lot of fun doing them. So, as Mike said, we feel very simpatico with them in a lot of ways. And if you like us, you got to check out I Want to Be in the Sequel on Spotify.
Absolutely. We're not going to say anything stupid or degrading about them because we don't really know them as human beings yet. But as soon as we learn more about them, then we can start making those kind of comments. As for right now, we're just going to say they're really nice girls and they've got a good podcast. And that's it.
Our mom would probably like them too, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Mom, you should check them out. Mom's going to not know how to get to the Spotify. She's going to be like, I don't understand how to get to the Spotify. Why aren't these girls published somewhere else? How come they're not on your Patreon? Mom,
can I find them on Bean Pod?
Yeah. No, they're not on the Bean Pod, Mom.
Oh, but do we have some shout-outs, too? Speaking of cool people. Shout-out!
Yeah, absolutely. You want to kick it off?
Yeah, we want to say a very special thank you to our Patreon supporters, B Squared and Caitlin Collins. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon, supporting the show.
Awesome.
We appreciate it very much.
Thank you, James Rodriguez and Andrew Page. Little Drew props action. Thanks for joining the Patreon. Thank you so much.
Angela McNichols and Adam Saint Germain. Is it Saint Germain or Saint Germain? Probably Saint Germain.
We'll have to ask him.
Either way, thank you, Adam. We appreciate it.
Yes. Bunny Wigglebottom, fantastic burlesque dancer. Yeah. No, this is true. This is true.
With a name like Bunny Wigglebottom, they had better be a burlesque dancer.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much. And also, Nuria Perry. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Vince Savard. Vince, we appreciate it. Thanks for joining at the $4 level, Vince. You rock. And Rob Freitas. Rob
the freight train.
It's cool people like you that allow us to do what we love to do, which is making fantastic content and reviewing these movies that we love so much. So we appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Yeah. This show is listener supported. We couldn't do it without you. I mean, we could, but we'd be grumpy and annoyed and it wouldn't last very long.
So you're our most important ambassadors. Please help us spread the word, tell your friends, get more people involved, and we'll give them a shout out as well.
That's right. Don't forget to write a review. Love you guys. Tyler, take us out.
The head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
And that's another episode of The Head, the Tail, the Whole Damn Thing with industry professionals Mike D. McCarthy and James Knight. Please join us on the next episode for a retrospective with producer Craig Perry of the Final Destination films. I'm your announcer, Tyler Batten. Please join us, and if you would, join the Patreon at the highest level. There's so many extras and wonderful things you can get from it. Is that what I was supposed to say? I'm sorry, I never get any direction on these things. I'm just told maybe some film titles. At times I'm not even given that, and then I have to try and wing it. I don't know. Just give us your money. Just give us all your money. It would be totally worth it. Without us, without you, oh brother.